Annyeonghaseyo. Welcome to Afternoona Uncensored,
Unscripted,
unedited,
and uninterrupted. So let's get to it.
Hey, everybody.
hello.
Hi there.
After much technical difficulties, we are now operating.
Yes. And I'm already flustered because I've seen some of the questions coming in and I feel like I'm all discombobulated.
Or your face is like
Blushing.
reddened.
Yes.
Yeah, you are. You are flushed.
Yes. Physically flushed.
That means it's a good question, though.
Mm-hmm.
So it's our Afternoona Uncensored pod. And basically, we have our own ideas, but we also have our Patreon where folks, as our plug, can join and come into community with us. And so we've started this trend kind of through happenstance of asking the Patreon if they have any questions for us. And then they've just ended up being better than stuff we come up with. And so really
better than any content we come up with.
Yeah.
Right.
And I try not to look too hard at it because I like to go in kind of a little raw dog. I mean, I do look a little bit, but I just looked tonight, just right before as we were coming on. I was like, whoo, I'm getting a little steamy looking at some of this. So anyway.
That means it's well done. So we appreciate the content that's given to us. And so here's the thing. So sometimes we look at the Uncensored as an episode where when we're really busy, we don't have to prep because we're just doing, most of it off the cuff. But since we've started asking our Patreon for questions, comments, this or that's, whatever, we realize that we've been getting a little bit of homework, which is awesome. But sometimes we're not 100% done with our homework before we record. And so we might not have everything complete for this one, but it gives us food for thought for the next one.
Yes.
So
I will, because I have homework and I really like it, but I take it extremely seriously. And I did not do it today. So I need more time.
Well, share what your homework assignment is for listeners.
Okay.
And then
my homework assignment, right. So this basically is form essentially like a super K-pop group. And there are rules. So 8 members total, no more than 2 idols from an existing band. You need to have a leader, a maknae, and cover the usual positions: vocalist, dancer, visual, and rapper.
Mm.
And that's just, I take that very seriously.
Can we all do that homework? I want to do that homework.
All do that.
Yeah, but that can be our snack for next month.
But people don't always like K-pop, so that has to be. I think it should be a post in Patreon, and this is our plug for.
Oh yeah, do a post. Yeah, that could be. That's great.
All right, but Amy, because you're Amy, you did do your homework.
I did more than my homework.
So share your question that came with homework, and I'm going to
turn off your
take a nap
because Leah's an asshole. We talk about not yucking people's yums, but Leah yucks all my yums.
I don't. I just.
You do. Okay. That's okay because I'm going to enjoy this. I did enjoy it and I'm going to enjoy talking about it. So I was asked to do a fan cast for Marvel because I'm the only Marvel fan in the group. And the Avengers K-drama actor edition. And our poster said just phase 1, though. Otherwise, it might take the rest of the week. But I couldn't stick to just phase 1. I didn't do everybody, but I kept thinking, well, I want to put this person. I want to put this person. So I'm going to go just quick through my list. So here's who was listed in the post, and you'll see the extras that I added. So it was Captain Korea, Iron Man, Hulk, Thor, Black Widow, Hawkeye, Loki. So I'll toss those out really quick. Captain Korea for me was either Roon or Park Sejun. Iron Man, Lee Dong-wook, no question about that one.
Mm-hmm. He would be great. Yeah, he's great.
Yes, 100%. Total snarky billionaire.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 100%.
Perfect.
The Hulk, we need somebody who is not normally Hulk size, but then gets to turn Hulk size, like Mark Ruffalo. So I went with MC1 for that one.
Okay. I like that.
Bangin'.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
Mm-hmm. Thor, we need somebody thick. So I went with Tell You for that one. Okay. Black Widow. Black Widow, Isam
Oh, from Black Knight.
from Black Knight and from Because It's My First Life.
She would be amazing.
Yep, I love her. Love her. Megan, this one for you, Hawkeye, Ji Chang-wook.
Oh, he would be a good Hawkeye.
Good
because isn't Hawkeye kind of like
he's an archer?
Yeah, but isn't he like a little snarky? Not snarky, but a little bit of an attitude.
I mean, he's kinda. I mean, Clint's a nice guy. He's not super snarky, but when he needs to, he can bring it out. Yeah.
Okay.
And then Loki, I couldn't decide between Lee Ha-jun and An Bo-hyun for that one.
Yeah, that would be good. Oh, yeah, that would be good.
Lee Ha-jun would be good Loki, like when he's mischievous. But because, like, we were talking before we started about the show Loki, which Leah doesn't want to watch, but her whole family does. And the show Loki was amazing, and I'm sad that it's over, and it had a very sort of sad ending. And I think that An Bo-hyun would be the good arc for Loki when he gets a little bit more emotional.
Anyway. Wait, who did you say was Captain America? Did you get there yet?
Captain Korea was either Rowoon or Park Seo-joon. I couldn't decide between those two.
Yeah, I was gonna say Captain Korea, but Park Seo-joon.
Park Seo-joon.
I mean, who else?
So I threw in a few others because I was missing some people. So Doctor Strange, Gong Yoo.
Oh yeah.
Ant-Man, Lee Min-ho, because Ant-Man, like, he's Scott Lang is a con artist who then falls into being a superhero, and Lee Min-ho is a great con artist in Legend of the Blue Sea, another one that you guys haven't watched, and I think he'd be great at that. Bucky Barnes / the Winter Soldier, Kim Woo-bin. Star-Lord from Guardians of the Galaxy, Lee Jae-wook.
I don't even know who that is.
That's Chris Pratt.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay.
I know who Lee Jae-wook is. I don't know.
No, I know. I'm saying, yeah,
I know you did it. You knew exactly what I meant.
Yeah, Rocket, who is the smart mouth raccoon, played by oh my gosh, what's his name? Bradley Cooper. Kim Bum.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Vision, who is at first just a voice, and then he does get sort of like a corporal being, but it's the voice that we love about Vision. And so I picked Lee Soo-hyuk, who is Megan. He's from Tomorrow. Yeah. He's the one who looks like Neo.
Perfect. He'd be so good.
Yeah. Good voice. Scarlet Witch or Wanda, Jung So-min. And then Spider-Man, Kang Tae-ho.
Oh, that's a good one.
Then you just sweet little Kang Tae-ho who is then gonna, get bit by a spider and turn into. Yeah. So that was my list. There could be a lot more. Like, I could do this for hours, but I won't.
So I enjoyed it more than I expected.
Yeah, I actually really did enjoy it.
I do have a quibble though. I have one that I think I would do different.
Well, I'll allow it. I'll allow it, since even though you're an asshole, I'll allow it.
Thank you. So my one that I would do different is Doctor Strange.
Okay, who would you do?
Lee Dong-wook.
But I already have him as Iron Man.
I feel like I would give Gong Yoo to Iron
Man. I mean, we can agree to disagree. I
feel like Lee Dong-wook brings more eccentricity.
See, but I see like I see like him from Tale of the Nine-Tailed, and like that sort of attitude is very, very Tony Stark to me. But that's, hey, to each his own. That's okay. Yeah. So you can have your quibble, and I can.
Look, it is a multiverse.
It is. Absolutely. So
see,
thank you for that. Thank you for that assignment. Please, like, give me stuff like that any day, and I will do it and do more than you ask.
You know what I want to do? Maybe I'll do this for next Uncensored, is cast Game of Thrones.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
Because that's
I want to know who you're going to put as Jamie, and I want to know who you're going to put as Jamie and Cersei. Like,
I know. I need to think about it, but I think I might do that. I can't do that off the cuff. Like, I need time to think.
That's a lot of thought.
Right. But I might do that. Yeah, who will I cast as Reek? Poor Reek.
Yeah, who are you going to castrate?
Who am I going to castrate?
Yeah.
Okay, that's amazing. For some reason I immediately was like Ji Chang-wook.
as Reek.
I could never do that to him.
Oh, Reek.
Oh, Reek. All right, well, do yours, Leah.
Okay. So this one is, the question was, would you rather watch a Korean remake of My Beautiful Man, which was a Japanese BL that I will stand to the end of days? I loved it so much. It is half my personality. And would you rather watch it starring Min Yoon-gi, who is my ultimate bias, my ultimate person in this world? Their poster is behind me right now, from BTS, and another actor idol of your choice? Or would you rather meet Min Yoon-gi in the flesh, but you didn't get to speak or interact with him at all? He just puts his finger in your mouth and leaves. And I thought about it for a second. And this was one that...
A second. You were pretty quick on the draw.
I was very quick on the draw.
Yeah.
Given that I cannot interact or do anything but have the taste of his finger linger versus a show that I could watch forever being just a disgusting goblin, I'm going to go with His Beautiful Man because they were like, who would you cast him as? So let me just give like a very short rundown of what My Beautiful Man is, because not everyone listening has watched it. So I just need to paint some broad strokes. My Beautiful Man it follows the misadventures of two boys. You saw it, right, Megan?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
I loved it.
Yeah. So you can help me with it.
Yeah.
Basically, it goes from high school through to college through to graduation. It follows these two. And it's like that first love. One is kind of like the school dork, I guess, who forms a big infatuation with like the school quote unquote king, who
the new kid. And he's like a new kid, right?
Yeah, I think it's very vague, kind of, because like I don't think he's that new, honestly.
But he's beautiful. Like he's
beautiful. So cute,
stunning.
Kiwi. And so Kiwi is like not able to be. He has a lot of damage, and he's not fully accessible in his emotions. So he feels a lot of things, but he doesn't necessarily show them. Whereas the other character, who is his foil, is much more heart on his sleeve, like borderline obsessive. And it's just a really... So Hira is like the second. He's gawky, he's a photographer, and he's somebody who very much idolizes his love, and through the story kind of comes into his own power. Whereas meanwhile, like, Kiwi wants this person who he's in love with to come into his power. I guess that's the best way I can describe it. It sounds like an Asian wiki boring blurb to say it like that. It's highly emotional, super sexy, kind of weird.
It's like absolutely opposites attract. And it's about like a rich guy, or popular, beautiful man. And like a kind of nerdier character who's infatuated with him, and it's following their relationship as they start to get to know each other, and it's wild.
And I think what sets it apart is that you kind of get into that, like, kind of like, he's not like bullied, but kind of like a slightly bullied character with the cool guy, and you kind of follow that for about like 4 or 5 episodes of kind of like you're just in like the nerdy guy's POV basically. And then we get a flip around episode 6 where it's all in cool guy's POV. And that's when the whole thing just changes, because you see the power dynamic is actually not quite as it seems. Cool, calm, collected guy is like a fucking mess over this guy. But because he's like vulnerable, or because he like wears his like mask of coolness, like you get to see that mask come off in scenes. So they do like some retellings of scenes where the guy has been like kind of like too cool for whatever. And then you kind of just like see what happens when his face is averted, or after like, a kiss or anything like that. And he's just a mess. And at that point I was like, I'm trash for this for the rest of my life.
Right.
So that being said, I'm going for Min Yoon-gi for the cool, popular, wannabe, idol actor, whatever, because he is a marshmallow inside who plays cool on the front. So for sure, obviously that's going to be my archetype. And like, I'm going to make a bold choice for who I'd have play here. And I don't want people to come at me freaking out about shipping culture because people get kind of like wild about it. So look, this is just my movie choice. Calm
and you
down.
were asked to do this. Like,
you were asked to do this. So just people need to like, people have big feelings. Just like go touch some grass.
I love that you guys use that now.
I use it all the time. I am going to cast Kira controversially because this person is also cool. With a bandmate from BTS, Park Jimin, because I think that especially if you look at like early day BTS, there's an energy around Jimin that is very interesting, which is that he like, I think now there's like a public perception because he's been very good at fan service of that he's like always sexy and cool and like in control and kind of like the good dancer, and he's always kind of like immaculate. When he like joined the group first, he wasn't sure if he was even going to make it. Like he kind of got through on the skin of his teeth in many ways, and he really thought he was getting kicked out at like any given time. And he had one member who basically is famous for being like, I really want you on my team. I really want you to be here. Min Yoongi. So he has this like puppy devotion to him in like the early days of BTS, where like they had like their first festa and stuff, where he is just ridiculous. And he is still like young and he's just kind of still awkward. He hasn't gotten into like his super cool like personas that he can do now. And I'm just like, look, it would write itself to me. Being a BTS fan, I feel like, yeah.
There's probably fan fiction.
Oh, well, I mean,
look, for sure.
We did at Afternoona Army, we did fan fiction of BTS for Halloween to just be like what's out there in the wild worlds of fan fiction.
Oh my God. Can you imagine being a famous person and reading kinky fan fiction about yourself?
So I went the most wild, obviously, in the group. People like some people tried to be more respectful. I was like, no, I want to go for some crazy shit. So I went straight to Omegaverse because I was like, I only want Omegaverse. And I actually did do a Jimin Yoongi Omegaverse story where Jimin has puppies.
Oh my God. I swear to God, Leah.
I'm obsessed with Mpreg, but not really. Like I don't like follow it or read it or like know it. I just know it exists. And the fact it exists makes me happy on like a regular, it's almost a Roman Empire to me just to know it exists.
I've read a bunch. Yeah, it's I've read a wild genre.
I've read almost none, and I don't feel the need to. I just am happy to know it exists.
Oh yeah, it does. Yes, puppies. Oh my God.
And so it is absurd. And yes, it is. Is it weird? Yeah, it would be weird. It'd be weird if I found some fan fiction about, I don't know. I guess it wouldn't be as weird if I had puppies. You know, like it is kind of weird. And they like gloss over some of the technicalities. I'm like, so is it actually a puppy or are you just calling it a puppy? I'm not clear. Megan?
Yeah.
Is it a puppy? Is it a physical puppy or is it just that's the name of what you call the Mpreg baby?
No, it depends but no, some of them they've like given birth to actual puppies and they can't shift into humans until like they reach a certain age. So they are giving birth to puppies and like, oh my God. I mean, the creativity of these writers, like I will never knock this, just saying.
No.
Because
but how do you think of it? Like that
they give birth numerous ways. Like some of them can only give birth through cesarean. So it's like not like natural. Others like literally form a birth canal, like in which if you think about what the female body does, or, you know, the womb carrying body does during birth, it's not like wild to think that someone could just like grow a birth canal. I mean, we grow a baby. I don't know, but so it's done a whole different ways. And
like
sometimes
grow a birthing organ.
Yeah,
I mean
that's what a placenta is.
I mean, it's not that out of the realm of like possibility. Anyway, but it depends what you're reading. Like obviously, all authors kind of pick. Some of them do give birth to babies. Some of them give birth to puppies. It just
Yeah, because
wolves.
they were saying puppies, and like the baby can't speak. It's not like fully sentient, and they didn't describe it as having like paws waving or hands. It was just kind of like vaguely, but they kept referring to it as a puppy, and I was like, so am I dealing with an actual puppy?
Yeah, well, sometimes too they just call them pups, even though they're not. But like it is kind of funny when they have like a house full of puppies, and it's just like these like two adult shifter people, and they're like wrangling their like litter of puppies that like the one man just gave birth to. I mean, it is wild. It's wild.
So I love it so much that, look, I have a lot to do in life. Like really, I feel like right now my cup is full. I have overcommitted and I'm not sad about it. If I ever find time, or if I like move into retirement and I just need a project to do, I want to get a PhD in Omegaverse, specifically Mpreg fic. Because
I'll do it with you.
I want to I need to like spend years deep diving it.
It's incredible. And it's a wide range. That's the thing. Like all authors have their own lore.
And if people think I'm kidding, I'm not. There's zero part of me that's joking.
Well, because then there's also like, where like the Omega has like 5 alphas. And they just have like a big puppy pile.
Although that Omega is like the hardest working Omega in show business.
Yeah.
Then.
Oh, I mean, very. Amy is like, can we move on?
I know.
I'm like, we are not talking about anything K-drama or K-pop at this point. We need to reel it back in.
I do like this question. And this is something that would be interesting to talk about. So what is the point of the separation towards the end trope? The separation towards the end trope, other than completely ruining a show and making it impossible to believe in an HEA for the couple. Are there any examples of it being done well or reasonably fitting with the plot? Or is it always like fouling on purpose when you're losing a basketball game?
I would say, like, I think there are some where it's like, I don't even understand where you went or why. You know,
in K-dramas?
Yeah. Like there are some that I'm like, it served no point to the story.
Right. They break up and they just disappear. Like they leave for the States for 3 months and you're like, why?
Right. Like but I think it can fit in the story for some of them. Like it.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard. I saw Leah commented back to this person, but there are, that's very much hated by a lot of romance readers. And so a lot of times people will even label their books by saying there is no third act breakup in this book. It's not my favorite either, and I often don't write it, but I think
I write it.
Sometimes what?
I write it.
Yeah,
well, I don't. I've written it. Don't get me. I'm saying
I do like a majority of the time I do it.
Yeah, and that's fine. A lot of times,
yeah. But I don't think I do it gratuitously. You know what I mean? Like I do it in a way like the way that I think that I do it is to put the hero and heroine in positions where they choose what they need for themselves first and then choose each other. Mm-hmm. But I don't usually do it as like a full-on breakup. I do it as like a career thing or, you know, something like that. I don't do it like the one that I think of off the top of my head, where I remember I had to like message you guys and like ask questions because I just was, and it's a drama that we all love, which is Mad for Each Other. But like, where did she go at the, you know, like
she did not go to Mongolia.
Where did she go? Yeah.
Wait, Mad for Each Other. That was
no, you're thinking of Because This Is My First.
Yeah, because
first life, Megan. I said
that's Mongolia. I'm sorry. You're right. What?
But it was the same thing. Like, she did go somewhere. I don't even remember where it was that she went. She did go and she did travel. And it was just, it was just confusing because it wasn't like fully a breakup. It was just like, I'm going. And I got that, like, you know, she was a shut in and then she like had to, come out of her shell and be comfortable in the world again. But it was an odd, just sort of like leaving, like with no warning.
Right.
The one in Because This Is My First Life, I hated.
Right. Yeah. I didn't. So I will say this. I don't always dislike the breakup. sometimes I like it, and I'm looking as a romance reader or a romance K-drama watcher, I'm like waiting for it, because sometimes it feels like that's what has to happen. And I'm gonna talk about the book Romancing the Beat by Gwen Hayes, which we've talked about before. It has basically it outlines all the romance beats that you need to hit when you're writing a book. And so there actually is a beat called the breakup. So I just want to read a little bit of what she says about this beat, because I think it helps. This is the thing. I think a lot of times K-dramas and romance books, they do it wrong. And if they do it wrong, then it's just going to feel frustrating. But I think when a breakup, like when a third act breakup is done right, it's heart-wrenching, but it also feels good. And it feels like that's what's supposed to happen.
And then it makes the resolution feel fantastic.
Yeah. And that's another thing. The resolution feel like, okay, I'm not a robot. I'm sorry, but I'm going to bring it up. They needed to break up.
Yes.
They needed to break up so badly. And that is why the resolution was so sweet. So, okay. What you want here to make your point resonate. I'm sorry, this is from Romancing the Beat. What you want here to make your point resonate is for one or both of your characters to have a choice. Choose love or choose fear. This is a major attack, and one or both of them have to choose fear. They have to choose this. Too many romance novels have this moment, often called the crisis point, be driven by an external plot point. But if the crisis point comes from external plot points alone, your heroes are not learning anything about themselves. So always have your crisis point tied to the moment when your heroes choose to hold on to their fears, flaws, wounds, or misconceptions instead of opening their hearts completely. So very much in I'm Not a Robot. I'm sorry, I'm just going to kind of like explain.
It's such a great example, though.
Yeah, it's a great example. So he I mean, his whole life he's chosen to reject other people. His false belief in that drama from the very beginning, what he believes based on experiences is that everyone will betray me. Everyone will betray me. And to a degree, it comes true, but not in the way he thinks. But he holds on to that false belief. He's like, it's confirmed. All along, I knew this would happen, and it did. She betrayed me, and he holds on to that false belief, that misconception during that like third act breakup. And it isn't until he lets go of that he realizes that not everyone is out to get him, that not everyone will betray him, that there will be people who will care about him. Only until he lets go of that can they be together. And so they had to have that breakup because he had to go through that. And he really
has to complete his own arc before he can be her partner.
Exactly. He has to complete his own arc. So again,
oh my God, I'm going to watch that drama again.
Again, that's why I love that. I feel like I am not a robot. I've said this before. I'm sorry, but everything about that drama follows romance beats so perfectly. So it's so easy to give it as an example.
Yep.
But that's it. I mean, all your character, I'm kind of been working on that right now because I've been working on characterization. Your character always has a fear. So his fear is that everyone will betray him. And then due to that fear, it's a wound. Sorry, there's a wound, which is the fact that he was betrayed when he was little. So his fear is that he will always be betrayed. And then he has an unmet need because of that fear. And that's that he has not connected to anyone since he was a child. He has no friends. He's isolated, and he's not open to love, to friendship, to anything. And it isn't until he lets go of that false belief that he can truly be happy. So there you go. So I agree. So I do agree with this comment. A third act breakup can be terrible and annoying. And sometimes it can feel like it's put in there for no reason. And I would say Mad for Each Other was one of those. I was like, I love that drama, but I was just
so confused. I'm like, where is she going? Why is she going? Are they together?
Why? Yeah, because they didn't show her overcoming anything other than just her needing to be alone for a little bit. But it was stupid. So I agree with that.
Yeah. So I think that's the answer is when it serves the point of the story. Great. When people are like, I kind of just don't know what I need to do in terms of conflict. So the best thing to do is have them break up because I just need some action to happen, then I think everyone feels a little bit like blah.
Yeah, I would say too, a lot of people don't like it when they break up just because of a miscommunication. Like, oh, I overheard you said this when they never said it, and then they break up and
just talk to each other.
Yeah, and here's the thing is I think to me, then again, it ties into what is the core wounds of the character. And so again, I'm not always going to say a miscommunication is bad. I'm not always going to say it's good, but I'm not always going to say that it bothers me, because it depends on what the core wound is. Like you were saying with I'm not a robot. It's like abandonment and friendship, lack of friendship, whatever. And so it just depends if the misunderstanding hits some sort of core wound. And it also depends on ages too, because like new adult, I'm going to be much more like open-minded if it's like younger characters or people with like emotional growing to do than like full ass adults who've like lived a life and then just had a fight and we're like, I'm out of here. That isn't going to feel satisfying to me. So yeah, I think it's just, to me, I'm going to just say a very unsatisfying answer, which is, to me, it just depends, because it depends on the story. And if the story holds it, I can live with it.
And I think as a reader or a watcher, like you'll know when it doesn't work. I mean, you're probably picking up on when it didn't fit, and that is totally true. I think as romance writers, sometimes we don't, there's maybe the characterization is off. So when we try to like have them grow or have an arc, it doesn't fit, and then the breakup doesn't work. So it all leads to establishing your character properly, which is hard to do.
All right, let's do a lightning round of this or that's that are fun. So I'm just going to say them.
Don't ask the last one.
Yeah, the only one I'm not going to do is Duna, because it would be, to me, I feel like spoilery, even though there's like,
Okay, wait. Before we do that, can I just say one thing? And it's related to Duna, but like, so heads up, we will cover Duna because Leah and I are obsessed, and Amy will be watching it. And that actually leads it kind of when Leah was talking about how she looks at characters' actions differently based on their age. That's one of them. But actually, I kind of have a question for Leah based on Duna. Okay. So if you could be titillated by one scene for the rest of your life, would it be the hand brushing the skirt from Mr. Sunshine? Or would it be Duna lifting the hero onto the counter and kissing him with the ice falling and no OST in the background?
Look, I'm going to say Duna, but I'm actually going to say it's the bathtub scene from My Beautiful Man, Love Eternal.
I know, but that wasn't a choice. That wasn't a choice.
I'm just saying.
That wasn't a spoiler. I mean, they kiss in Duna, like it's a romance. They kiss. It's great.
Kissing will happen, but yes.
Kissing will happen. So don't worry. We will be covering it because I have a lot to say about it.
Yeah. And if Amy doesn't get to it, Megan and I will do it.
I think get to it. What
you will. She's watching Rain or Shine.
Just don't. No, look, I wasn't saying it to be mean. Oh my gosh,
it was only maybe if you don't want to watch it.
Yeah, like look, I'm not going to force people to watch things. There's things I just haven't watched, not because I haven't like hated them, but because I just didn't do it. So I didn't want to make you feel. Yeah, I don't want to make you feel obligated if you hadn't seen it. If you're like, look, would much rather be watching something else.
We're going to make you feel obligated to watch A Time Called You. So
I know. Okay.
I know we are obligating you. You gotta.
I mean, I'm going to. I keep putting it off because there's other things I feel like doing, but I will. I am doing it. Well,
I'm doing my homework right now and I'm enjoying it. I'm watching Rain or Shine because you told me to watch Rain or Shine, and I'm so.
Well,
I'm not done with it, so don't. Right. Yeah.
But we'll cover.
I did it because you told me to, and so you're gonna do what I tell you to do.
Yeah. I just said we had a lot of requests for Rain or Shine. Okay, let's do this or that.
Yeah, let's do the lightning round.
Okay, so melodrama or rom-com?
Melodrama.
Rom-com.
Since when?
I don't know. I just said what came to my mind that felt authentic.
Here's the thing. I don't think there's any drama that's like just a true just rom-com.
Oh, Cafe Minimum Dog.
Yeah, well, that's just a comedy.
No, that's
I don't even think
stupid.
that's a rom-com. That's a comedy.
So
But
what's I guess what am I in the
So-
mood for? What am I in the mood for right now? Is I guess where I'm coming from with that, which
Yeah.
is probably something a little bit because I'm rewatching Semantic Error.
Are you really?
Oh. Yeah, because I'm in the mood, and that feels rom-com-y, not melodrama-y.
True.
Okay.
So I guess this is what I'm in the mood for right now. Okay, action or horror?
Action.
Horror.
Horror.
Okay. Forehead or fringe?
Why'd you skip the other one?
I didn't mean to. Which one did I skip?
Seguk or school?
Oh,
Oh God. That's a tough one for me. I would choose Seguk.
School.
Yeah, I'm not
Seguk.
surprised.
Okay.
Okay.
Forehead or fringe? Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Oh, 100% forehead all the time.
I'm not 100%. I can't.
Fringe.
Love the forehead.
I love the fringe.
I think I'm going to say fringe.
Beer or soju?
Beer.
Soju.
Beer.
Okay. Subtitle the OST lyrics or stop it, people are still talking.
I say stop it. Because I honestly, I get confused sometimes. I'm like, did they just say that or is that the song? Like, yeah.
Stop it. People are still talking.
Yeah. I'm stop it too.
Stop it.
I am absolutely stop it. That is very funny. Made me laugh out loud.
Okay. Love to cry or hate to cry?
I love to cry.
Love. Okay.
Love to cry.
Palace royalty or palace servant?
Oh, servant.
Royalty.
I don't know what the question is.
Are you more invested if you watch a drama in the palace servants or palace royalty?
How about just no palace?
No, that's not the question.
I know, but that's my answer.
Unlikable characters.
I'll say royalty. Sorry.
Okay. Unlikable characters. No time for that or sure?
Absolutely. Yes.
Same. Yes.
Yes, if they serve a purpose.
Yeah.
Not just like somebody there for the sake of being horrible though.
12 episodes or 16 episodes?
Really into 12 episodes right now.
12.
I've been into 12 lately too because I feel like there's just been too many loosey-gooseys that are just trying to hit a episode block.
Yep.
Half or hour plus episodes or rein those in.
Rein those in. I want like 52 minutes.
Yep.
Look, I went through a binge. I'm kind of off of it now where I was inhaling BLs like wildly. I was like 23 minutes, 28 minutes. I was like, hit me. And so
it's like blackjack.
Yeah.
Hit me with another 23 minutes.
Rewatcher, or I could be watching something newer.
Oh, I'm not a rewatcher, honestly. I very rarely I am not a robot and Chloe are the only ones I've ever rewatched.
Yeah, I was gonna say like there's only a couple that I will like rewatch, but like I don't have that kind of time. Like I want to watch new stuff.
Yeah. I feel like it's FOMO.
Yes.
So I am lately a rewatcher because I watched My Beautiful Man like 4 times.
You did. You're like, I'm watching it again. I'm like, Jesus.
Weatherman like 2 to 3 times. I just got into a few that I was just like, I finished. I'm like, I'm just looping right back. Just looping. I mean, they're 23-minute episodes. I'm like, hit me. I'm just going back in. Okay. And then we're going to reply 1988 with Tech or John Yo.
Yeah, do you know what? For so long, I think I said Tech in our episode. But lately, I'm going with Juniol. And did you know they broke up?
I did. I was going to bring that up today. 7 years. 7 years.
So I hope they're okay.
She's going to meet her Travis Kelce then.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is. So I hope they're okay. I hope they're all right.
Juniol for me, just as a personal taste, those pink mittens fucking just choke me with them.
Seriously.
Yep.
Okay, this is a funny one that I thought was funny. Any K-drama watching habits?
That was what I wanted to do. Yeah.
Okay. This listener said, I have to watch episodes in pairs. I'll only watch the opening credits for the first and final episodes, and I never watch the previews for the next episode. I hate spoilers with a passion, and I don't even watch movie trailers. I'm that guy in the cinema that would quite happily stick his fingers in his ears and close his eyes rather than risk a spoiler.
And I'm the person who sits there after the credits so that I don't miss the post-credit like teasers, whether it's in a movie, like, because like Marvel movies always have a post-credit scene, like I sail the bitter end. And in a drama, if I'm watching on Netflix and Netflix decides to just jump to the next episode without giving me the teaser, I get pissed and I will go back and I will watch the teaser first. Even if I'm going to start the next episode, I want to know what's coming, because it's never what it seems anyway. So I always like to try and like figure it out. Yeah, I
don't like, my husband and I used to call it scenes from the next. I don't know why. That's what we would always call it when we watched like House and stuff together.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like them anymore, not for K-dramas, because I just find that they really, really clickbait you with these.
Oh, they 100% do.
Like they're always wrong, and they stress me out, and I think about them. So I don't like it. So I'm the same way. I don't watch those, and I very much avoid spoilers. I don't. Yeah, I mean, other K-drama habits. I don't watch the opening credits. I only watch the opening credits for the first one. And I have a hard time stopping in the middle. Like, I feel like I always have to kind of like finish an episode, even if it's like not time convenient for me. I have to like get to the end of an episode.
Okay, so I echo that.
I do too, except if I fall asleep, like involuntarily, which I do in bed sometimes. Right. With the opening credits, I usually only watch the first time unless it's Pachinko or Goblin. Those I watch every time.
I do watch the first one because I'm always like, I'm curious what they're trying to sell me on the field is. It's not always right. Like, I still remember If You Wish Upon Me had like, I think it was If You Wish Upon Me. It was like silly, happy, whatever. And then they go to the drama. And the drama's just like, just like wrench your heart out of your chest. So I'm always curious, but I always watch it at the beginning, but then always skip it, at least on Netflix. And I skip it on Viki.
So for me, I would say habit is I watch 99.9% of dramas on my phone.
Oh, same.
I will say that I like trailers a lot. So I'm a hard movie trailer. Yes. I am a very anti-teaser. So I will not watch the teasers for next episodes. If they come up, I skip. So, same. But I do like to know a trailer for a show or a movie.
I do like to know the overall trailer for sure. But I don't watch teasers for the next episode. They make me mad because they're always wrong. I forget what drama that always had teasers for the next. And I would watch them and then they would really stress me out. And then I'd watch the episode. And then the whole episode, I'm like waiting for that scene. And it just like messes up my like viewing experience, I guess I would say. Because I'm constantly just thinking of that instead of just like letting the show play out. But then that's just my brain.
But like now you know that it's like, I feel like now that I know that it is like clickbait, I just take it for what it is. And I don't know. I watch it.
I let it get in my head too much.
Yeah.
No, I don't think it's like, it's annoying that I do that. But that's why I can't watch them.
And I do not watch on my phone. I need a big screen. I like it on my big TV.
No, I have a whole thing where I take my contacts out. I can't see for shit.
Yep.
Then I hold the phone really close to my face. I put my AirPods in and I watch until I wake up in the morning and my AirPods have fallen out. And when my AirPods fall out, that usually stops the show.
It does, yeah.
And then I know where to pick up.
I'll watch on my iPad in bed, but like I can't stand the small screen on the phone.
See, I get disoriented if I watch it on a TV. Like I've tried watching on TVs and I can, but I feel weird watching it on a TV because it feels like there's too much space between me and the screen. I'm like so used to having it right in my face that it feels weird to have this whole room. I'm like, oh, it feels it's too empty and big. Like I need the immediacy of it in my eyeball.
Yeah, I do everything on my phone.
I'll say also, I don't have to wear my glasses when I watch it on the TV too. So it might be that as well, because I only need my glasses for close up. So if I'm laying in bed, I have to keep my glasses on and watch on my phone. Whereas if I'm on the couch on the TV, I don't have to have my glasses.
Oh, that's annoying.
Yeah, I take my glasses off, contacts go out, and then I just hold it right up to my eyeball.
Yeah, see, if I had to wear,
I'd have to hold it far away to see.
Yeah.
I can't see up close.
You basically you need reading glasses. Like that would be Yeah, I wouldn't like that. Because that's one of my favorite things. I can take out my contacts, get into bed, and lie down and watch my my K-dramas.
See, like try laying on your side with your glasses on. Like, no, it doesn't work.
I don't know what I'm gonna watch yet. Sarah from K-Drama This is really on me to watch Twinkling Watermelon, and I do think it looks good. I'm wondering if I can squeeze it in like before Thanksgiving, because some stuff is coming out on like the 24th. I might. She's really like pushing it. It is a school drama.
The Twinkling Watermelon?
Yeah, but
why does she think you'll
it's
like
a time travel. It is. It's a time travel, and it looks really cool because it reminds me a little bit from what she said. It reminds me a little bit from My Perfect Stranger, where I talked about that
you did.
The last episode, where the heroine travels back in time and meets her parents when they're in high school, and like they're meeting. Like it's kind of,
it's like Back to the Future.
That's kind of the way this is. He goes back in time and meets his like dad, but his dad likes a girl that's different than his mom, and he's like, oh god, like and then apparently they've joined like a band. That's what I gather, and it does look really, really cool. It looks kind of funny but also like heartwarming, so I might start that next. I am reading some books like for research for the book I'm working on right now, so that's taking up some of my time as well, but I might start that.
Twinkling Watermelon looks fun. It
does, and I'm really into time travel lately. I think A Time Called You really got me on time travel.
It was so like I feel like I need to keep selling Leah on this. Like, you love The Time Traveler's Wife. This is the K-drama version of Time Traveler's Wife.
It'll get you. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah,
it's probably one of my favorite.
It's in my top 5.
Probably one of my favorite.
It's in your top 5 dramas ever?
Yeah.
Okay. Off the Patreon.
And like
right now, I want to hear top 5s. Where are we at? Like, right now. Just where are you at in life? I mean, like, look, this isn't our top 5s are a mutable list. But right now, if you had to pick tonight, these aren't written in stone. These are not the 10 Commandments.
I know it's hard. Okay, well, I just put it out there. I said Time Called You, and I'm going to say yes. Time Called You is in my top 5. Alchemy of Souls, top 5. Goblin, top 5.
Oh no, this is hard. I don't know. I can do this.
That's 3.
Are you still thinking?
Okay. Yeah, I'm still thinking. Start shouting some out. You can too, Leah.
Okay. So I'm going to say right now, top 5. In my top 5 is Duna.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's in my top 5, but it's.
Yeah. I'm going to say Duna has made it to my top 5. Misang, because screw you guys. Not watching it. Moon Lovers also screw both of you for not watching it. I'm gonna say, and then look, not reinventing the wheel with Mr. Sunshine or Reply 1988, but I am gonna put Duna in there.
I think I'm gonna add Flower of Evil to mine. My top 5, and I still need a 5.
Did you say Chloe?
No, I love Chloe, but I don't think it's my top 5
Oh,
anymore.
really? Okay. Yeah. No, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. So I did love Duna. I'm gonna give it a little bit more time to see if it settles into my top 5. I need a little bit more separation from it, but I loved it. So, okay, so I'm gonna go with Chloe, Healer, I Am Not a Robot, Love Between Fairy and Devil. I just, it's in my top 5. It's just one of my favorites. Even
Chloe
as a C
is in
drama.
your top 5.
What? Chloe's still in my top 5.
Whoa!
I think it will always be in my top 5, and that's told. I have look, guys.
I don't even think it's in my top 10.
Listen, I have a certain loyalty to things.
Oh, 100% agree.
And I have a loyalty to Chloe that I like. I don't know if the chains will ever be broken, and that's just.
Have you rewatched it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, I have something to say controversial. You're both who's still thinking of one?
Oh well, I still need a 5th.
Okay, while you're both thinking, I'm gonna make a controversial statement.
Oh God, okay.
So while I was traveling to South Korea and back, I started rewatching some Goblin. I don't dislike Goblin at all, but I started to be like, she's a fucking child.
Oh, she's goddamn boat.
She's like a real
child.
Like,
I know.
Child. And I felt like it started to just be like, ooh, like child.
That's fine, but that has been my issue. So
this time I was a little bit more, and there's like a meme that's going around. I shared it on our Instagram recently. That's like from the Muppets of like when any 500-year-old plus supernatural being comes across an average 19-year-old girl.
I saw that.
It's like, yeah, she's so lovely.
Yeah,
it is funny.
But I mean, like, it's like she's just
she talks like a child. That's just the whole thing is. Okay.
A child.
My 5th is All of Us Are Dead.
Yeah.
Forgot that.
Oh, that's a good one.
So Chloe, Healer,
you know
I'm Not a Robot, Love Between Fairy and Devil, All of Us Are Dead. I would say that's my top 5 still.
Okay. Mine's going to be Itaewon Class.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fair.
I'm just shocked that Chloe is in your top 5 still. I don't know why.
I told you. I think
I didn't even know it ever was. I just didn't know it ever was. So it's shocking to find out.
Oh, that was always in my top.
Oh.
Maybe it will slip out.
No, it doesn't
eventually.
Need to. It can stay hard and in. It doesn't need to slip out.
Stop it. You did not say that. I hate you.
I love Chloe. I will always love Chloe. And it's one I mean, I loved it so much that I watched it twice the first time I ever watched it because it just hit me in all the right ways.
So for me, I look back and I think, like, how did those dramas make me feel?
Yeah. I enjoyed it.
The lasting feelings, like how I felt when I was watching it. So maybe and like the first time. So I don't count a rewatch really, but like the first time I watched Chloe, the feelings it gave me are feelings that like are indescribable.
Yeah, I mean, look, it made us all start 100%. Watching. It made us all start watching.
Yeah,
K-drama.
It's so like a loyalty thing.
I'm grateful to it, but I guess I'm just a fickle bitch.
No, I think it's I like that though, that I think we should all, if we all had the same top 5, this would be a really boring. No one would listen to us. I mean, it would be really boring.
But I was shocked this time because normally big age differences. I mean, and look, I'm not bothered. It wasn't like I was like, oh my gosh, I can't finish it. But I was like, this is more slapsticky than I remembered.
It is slapstick at the beginning too, yeah.
And
she's a child.
But nothing happens when she's a child.
No.
I know.
It's a ward, and yeah,
it is
ward and guardian.
Well,
it's
look,
called guardian.
Look. Nothing happens. Like he's not like hooking it. I mean, they do make it out, but like he is beginning to want to look like when I stopped watching it. And I'm going to pick it back up because it was fun to just like casually watch it. But like where I got to is like. She's just summoning him, and so he'll like try to be cool because he wants to impress her, and I'm like, child, like she's like a little girl, and you're like, here's my painting. Do I look cool? And I'm like, it's just I never, like, when Megan first said it, I was like, you are wild for saying this. And now I'm like,
thank you.
Kind of have a point. Like,
thank you. And again, there's nothing like it first, like I don't think that has to bother you.
No, I'm saying I'm Cook second story plot line all the way.
Well, see, that's what, like, Goblin, the second story plot line for Goblin was, I was so hooked on it. Like, honestly, I was like, I wanted that to be the forefront. Like, again, the single tear on the bridge when she picked up the ring, I was a goner.
That was so
beautiful Edon-wook with one lone tear. Are you kidding me? I lost it.
Yeah, and the tea room is amazing. Here's one thing I do want to say that I feel like is a small opportunity lost now that I've am watching again with fresh eyes, is I would have really enjoyed a third couple, which were the god and goddess.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
I feel like we got like a little bit of a flavor, but I was like, that could have been actually pretty fun.
That would have been awesome. I loved her. She was. I really felt
like,
great.
and because I feel like the nephew also like is such an important part, and then they're kind of like, well, we don't really know what to do now that, like, he kind of serves a purpose, and then he's kind of like done. But we're like, he's much a player at the beginning. He's like one of the
and I liked him. Characters. And see, that was part of the thing too, as I felt like he was on the same emotional level as her.
Yeah,
not Goblin. So it always like threw me off because I was like, yeah, they're like kids. Like Goblin's like creepy uncle trying to get in.
Nope.
It's true. It is true.
I don't care. I don't care.
I know, and I don't.
Because that's the one that gave me like the indescribable feelings. I mean,
right,
and Chloe did too. I mean, obviously, but
they do kiss when she's
20.
Not old.
20. Yeah, they do. They kiss when she's 20. Like,
they wait
till
her 20th. Yeah,
but they do wait.
No, they wait.
They wait till she's 20.
Yeah, because that's totally not creepy.
He's on AOL Instant Messenger asking when she's 18. This is Goblin.
Finally legal.
When are you 18? Oh my god. When are you legal? And that's how I pick. Yeah, and I think too, I like need to separate myself from dramas for a little bit to decide where they settle in. That's the thing. Duna's too fresh because I'm always going to be super obsessed with the last drama I watched.
Yeah,
like, I think that's the way I am.
To me, Duna is going to be awesome, but I feel like where that spot was held before for me was All of Us Are Dead. It's a fickle. The fifth spot is a fickle spot.
It's hard. Yeah, it is hard.
It'll bounce around.
Look, but I will say, like, a Time Called You, I still think about that drama at least once a week. Like when I finished it, I thought about it every day, multiple times a day. And to me, that's like when it has staying power and I'm still feeling the emotion of it, like weeks, even months after, like that kicks it to the top 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't want to dog on Goblin because the best thing of all, besides the single tier and just like the cardigans, best OST. I mean, now that we're in like sweater weather, like
it is the best soundtrack. Like, talk about like that's why I never skipped that opening, is because I love the song.
It's so atmospheric.
Round and round. Yeah.
Also, it's the best coats. Still is the best coats.
Yep. Coat game.
Just best cardigans, best turtlenecks. It makes me still want to go to Quebec. I'm like, why have we not gone and done a Quebec trip yet? Just
right.
Yep. Just I'm always by the red door.
I always love K-dramas when like they show a character who has like no money and one suitcase, but yet they have like 5 fluffy coats. Mm-hmm. Like that's the way it was in Because This Is My First Life. She walked around with one suitcase, but she magically has like 3
for
amazing
all occasions. Yeah.
Yeah. Like no one does coats like K-dramas.
I know. I need a good coat.
Like I gotta go get me a good coat.
I like coats. I have a lot of coats. Not like K-drama style, but I just every time I see a coat I get it if I can.
I do love coats. Okay. Are there any more Patreon comments to read for now?
Here's a funny thing. I was like, here's a funny thing about recording on Zoom. We can't see how long we've been going.
I know. Well, I think it's been about an hour.
I think let's close it out with one more question. Do you want to do a question that any of us have, or do we want to go back to Patreon?
No, go ahead. Patreon, or if someone has one.
I don't have one. Do you have one? Like, I don't have my own question.
Okay, here's somebody who has a quibble.
Okay.
Somebody has a quibble, which is they said that they want, so I don't know if it's a question. It's more just a quibble. They want to question challenge our definition of the enemies to lovers trope, or rather ask, what is the difference between enemies to lovers and opposites attract? And then they said that they felt like in the dramas we referred to as enemies to lovers, they don't feel like they're enemies. They feel like there needs to be a rivalry for them to be enemies. A boss and employee are not enemies. However, two coworkers can be enemies.
I think it depends on the drama. The one that they brought up was Business Proposal. And I agree that Business Proposal was more opposites attract than it was enemies to lovers. But I think opposites attract at times can straddle that line of enemies to lovers because your personalities clash. So for that particular example, I agreed. I mean, we when we get into talking about things, we can get into the weeds a little bit and get off on a tangent. And I think when we were talking about Business Proposal, we were getting into the idea of the office, like enemies to lovers, and where it might be, where there might be the power of the problem of somebody having power over the other in that relationship. And I think that's how we kind of got off into the office romance thing. But I agree that sometimes an office romance can be enemies to lovers. Sometimes it can be opposites attract. Sometimes it can just be an office romance. But I do think that you can have an enemies to lovers with a subordinate. And this isn't K-drama wise, but I brought up the movie The Proposal, and that was 100% like she was the boss, he was the assistant, she was horrible, he hated her. But then because of she promised, I mean, it was bad. She promised him a promotion if she posed as his husband so she wouldn't get deported. And that was, I mean, they hated each other and then they loved each other.
And I guess I'm going to say that, like, for me, first of all, any good story, and I mean, pretty much any story that's going to have to work in any functional degree is going to have layering of tropes. Yeah. And so you're going to have opposites attract and enemies to lovers often together. And I'm going to say that sometimes there's going to be tropes that are going to come into play and be a more important, like if you're stacking the deck, there's going to be like one that's going to hinge more strongly than another. And so you might have like a more strong opposites attract or forced proximity and a looser enemies to lovers, where maybe they're not like enemies. I think just sounds maybe like a very dramatic word, because I'm like, who is my enemy? I don't have, like, in my life, I hope I don't have, I mean, there could be people out there that are like, he is my enemy, but I mean, I don't feel like I really have enemies. But I mean, I have people that probably are like, meh, I can like do without them. I feel similar. And so, I mean, like, there's not really a word for that, like people of mild dislike to lovers. I don't know. Enemies to lovers, I think, just like covers something that like suits. So I do think it's not necessarily that like your mortal enemies. It can just be kind of like a vague dislike or some tension, because I do. I mean, I still will argue that something like Her Private Life or Touch Your Heart is a soft enemies to lovers vibe. Like they're not going to be in deep mortal opposition to each other, but there's kind of like a general dislike. But more importantly is that there's like an opposites attract vibe, especially with like Touch Your Heart, right? Like he doesn't really like her, but is she an enemy to him? No. But it still fits in like the enemies to lovers trope, because there's kind of like a dislike, there's some dislike or disdain or whatever. Is it more an opposites attract? Yes, but I wouldn't discount the fact that there's a little bit of the enemies of lover. Like, to me, that's how I would think about it in my head, is like, you're just kind of like layering in some of these different things, but like a crux where the entire drama is about like I just, right now, to me, it's the book, The Hating Game. Cause like, you can't get much more clear than that, like that book. And now it's a movie, but that's also opposites attract too. And it's also forced proximity. It's just the enemies part. And I mean, were they? Yeah. And I mean, like, I guess you can argue at different times is how much was that really an enemies, or was it the fact that it was
Yeah.
something else. And so, I guess that's where I fall out on that. Because like Chloe could be enemies to lovers and some.
Oh, I think it is. Mm-hmm. I mean, like, absolutely. But they literally are from enemy territories. Like, they're forced to be enemies, even if they don't want to be.
Different goals.
Yep.
Well, sort of the same and sort of different, but
yeah, but I mean,
like, what point in the drama?
Well, I mean, like, look at the very beginning, though. We're leaning much harder into the enemies to lovers, in like the first episode where people are like shooting at her, and like, of course, he's trying to protect her. But if she died, it wasn't like going to ruin his whole life. It wasn't going to be.
I mean, she leaves him standing on a grenade.
Yeah,
she does. I mean, if that's not.
And so I guess I just feel like it's like more.
I forgot about that.
Maybe when it comes to romance, like thinking of it a little bit lighter is like, I guess, where I would say it is, instead of it being like this, like. It's not like Lord of the Rings or something where it's like she's from Mordor and he is but a hobbit, and like
she lives in lava, he lives in a grass hut. They
killed his whole family? Love. He ate her uncle.
Oh my god.
I don't know. So
but I will go back to saying though, like that the business proposal example I think is a good example of that does lean more to opposites attract than it does to enemies to lovers.
Yeah, in that case, yes, I think there's like a flavor. To me, I would feel like there's a seasoning of it. If somebody was like, I feel like business proposed, like if you were going to sell me on it and you were like, opposites attract, again, forced proximity, fake dating, enemies to lovers, I wouldn't come back and be like, never enemies to lovers. I'd be like, yeah, like it's in there. It's just not.
It's not strong.
It's not strong.
Yeah.
All right.
Good discussion tonight.
Yeah, lots of good stuff.
From Omegas to
gosh.
Third act breakup.
I'm sorry that we don't edit these, you guys.
to stay hard inside. Look, somebody tonight we could have changed the trajectory of someone's life.
You might have.
Who's
you
like,
know what? I'm not
Omegaverse. I am curious.
I'm not yucking the yum. I'm just saying we got off track of Korean anything for a little bit.
Let me just bring it back to Omegaverse for a second. If we change the trajectory of your life and you decide to go into fic and you get into puppy and preg, tell me about it, because I want to know that I changed your life.
If you're now reading about men growing birth canals, let us know.
Yeah. And I can use you for my PhD research when I get to retirement.
All right.
Well, tonight was fun. Yeah, tonight was fun. We covered a lot, so I hope you enjoyed it.
Thanks, everyone.
Annyeong.
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 Kamsahamnida. Thank you for listening to Afternoona Delight. Where can you find us outside the pod? Head on over to afternoonadelight.com. That's AFTERNOONADELIGHT.com. You'll find links to all our social media, our book recs, K-pop and K-skincare recs, and if you want even more Afternoona Delight, because really who doesn't, you can join our Patreon, where you can choose the patron level that's right for you. Join in daily K-drama conversations, listen to bonus podcast episodes just for patrons, and participate in our monthly live K-drama support group via Zoom. We can't wait for you to be a part of the community. Until next time, annyeong!